Welcome in everyone to a One Piece Netflix Season 2 discussion. It actually comes out in a few days here, March 10th, so if you're not prepared, be prepared because it's gonna be good. I'm a big One Piece fan, obviously. Season 1, I actually was very hesitant about if I'd like the Netflix, but I thought it was really good, even though they made some changes. Thought Baratier was fantastic, and it's coming out in a few days. We had the final trailer a few days ago, which we're gonna cover today. We had the first teaser, which was a trailer, let's be real, the first trailer, I guess it was the second, really, and then the second trailer, which is really the third, but we're going to call it the second in this one. There's a few characters I was looking to see that we did not see, and then there are a few that we did. The first one I want to cover that we have not seen at all, which is very surprising, is Ace. In the first teaser, right, we get Robin, and that's a big deal. They hyped Robin up a ton, makes a lot of sense. The second one, we get Chopper, similar, hyped up a lot. In the third one, we don't get Ace. How are we not getting Ace at all? Now, I know, right, this is starting in Logtown, ending in Drum Island, so we're not getting to Alabasta where we see Ace quite a bit. But you can't tell me that's not a character. If you had any reason to put Ace in a trailer, you wouldn't. Because we're going to see him at Drum Island. That was canon, where he's just kind of there in the town with his black trench coat. Because remember, Ace was at Drum Island looking for Blackbeard because Blackbeard had been there. Of course, he missed him. But he did leave a message. He had like a one-liner like, hey, tell Monkey D. Luffy Ace was here. I cannot believe that was not in the trailer. But we do know who's going to play him. It's Zolo Marajuena. I think I'm pronouncing that right. And I think he looks like a very good portrayal of Ace. So I'm excited to see, even though if it's one scene, get some Ace time on screen because we didn't have enough. But moving on to that, there are some other characters we see. We do see what Smoker is going to look like because we're going to see him at Logtown probably at the very beginning, obviously. And Smoker is being played by, I missed the name, Callum Kerr. Yes, again, I think it's a pretty good portrayal of Smoker. I'm excited for it. I don't have any qualms about it. I think he's probably going to do a pretty good job. It was a very short moment in the trailer, and I think we're only going to really see him at the beginning at Logtown because we're not getting an Alabasta. But I think it's good as well. And then the next character we do see Wapol, which looks like Wapol. One of those characters that we saw recently in the main story, right at the Reverie, and then we get to see him all the way back to the beginning at Drum Island again, which, wow, which is cool to see. And then the last one I want to mention is Crocodile, because he's going to be in Season 2, and there is an actor, but again, I cannot believe we didn't see him in the trailer. I know we're not getting the Alabasta yet, but we should see him, right? Because you remember at Little Garden, we get to see him talk to Sanji when Sanji was using one of the Baroque Works transponder snails and talking to him as Mr. Prince. And the actor is going to be Joe Manganiello. And again, I think it looks like a fantastic casting for this. I'm excited to see him. I think he should be good. But I'm surprised we didn't see him in the trailer at all. So that's kind of who we see and haven't seen from a trailer. Of course, we see some Chopper, some Robin. A lot of stuff is going on in the trailer. Now, kind of starting from where we're going to be going here. We're starting in Logtown, right? We just kind of finished with some of the East Blue stuff. We're starting in Logtown, and then we're going to approach the Grand Line, go to Reverse Mountain. We are going to see Crocus, Laboon. We've seen them in some of the trailers. We're going to Whiskey Peak, which appears to be, I think it's going to be a lot of the main storyline, because all these trailers, there's just a ton of clips of them in the bar. Because you remember, right, just as a refresher, we go to Whiskey Peak. It's just a town of bounty hunters working for Baroque Works. The Straw Hats get there, they have a good time, and eventually they all get kind of like drugged with some of the booze and fall asleep, except for Zoro, who had realized that, hey, these are a bunch of bounty hunters. I know what's going to happen here, and then they kind of have a fight, and that whole thing happens. I wonder if we're going to see the clip of Zoro and Luffy fighting, because if you remember, there was a moment where Luffy was like just had woken up, and he sees that Zoro beat all the people up, and Luffy's really mad because he's like, hey, these people gave us food and drink, and now you're fighting them. And of course, Luffy's too dumb to hear what Zoro is saying. So I wonder if we're going to see that moment, and potentially we won't. And then we are going to go to Little Garden after that. We do see Dory and Broggy. We see like the 3D, probably CGI versions of them. So we are going to do that whole thing. We do see Mrs. Golden Week, whose name I was forgetting, and apparently it says Mary Ann. I don't remember that. All I remember is Mrs. Golden Week, but I guess her real name is Mary Ann, which I just learned today. We are going to see Mr. 3 Galdino, and it doesn't look like we're going to see Mr. 1 or Mr. 2, because we're going up to the end of Drum Island here, and I can't find anything about Mr. 2 or Mr. 1 being there on Google, which is kind of sad. Mr. 2 was a fun character, but But of course, going up to Drum Island, it wouldn't make sense. So I'm definitely very excited for this season. As I said, I think I might be somewhat in the majority here. Frankly, I wasn't. The trailers for season one look kind of horrible, but in fairness, that's kind of more just a live action thing. It's kind of tough for me to buy into it. But I thought season one was really, really good. Changing some of the stuff in the Baratier, I was surprised how much I actually enjoyed that. I would have liked to see a little more Don Krieg, but can't always get what you wish for. It looks like in season two, I can't really see anything in the trailers that looks like they're just changing some of the stuff that happened, but maybe they will. So just kind of a quick summary for anyone that's looking for it that might have forgotten, hey, this was a really long time ago, haven't seen this in a minute, or I haven't kept up with One Piece, but I'm very down to watch the season 2. So when we get to Logtown, there's a few things that are going to happen. We're going to meet Smoker, who is the first Logia in the series, which is that devil fruit that when you punch without haki, it kind of goes through them. Zoro's going to get the Sendai Katetsu, or we are probably going to see him get the Sendai Katetsu in Logtown, and then we're going to meet Smoker. Those are the two big things that are going to happen there. And then we didn't see Dragon. That's a good point. We did not see Dragon because how in the world does Luffy get out of Logtown? It was because of Dragon. And I'm still having problems finding if Dragon's in One Piece Season 2. I'm seeing some mixed reports. Didn't see him in a trailer. Again, that's a character you would think we would want to see. So Zoro's going to get a new sword. We're going to meet Smoker. And then we're going to have Dragon save Luffy from getting executed by Buggy in Logtown. And then we're going to go to Reverse Mountain and Twin Capes. And for those of you on Reverse Mountain, if anyone else had this thought, I really appreciate that. Eric, the Whirlwind, he was not canon, but I was wondering, are we going to see Luffy kick him off the ship? No, we don't. No, we're probably not going to because he wasn't canon, but it still happened, and I was looking for it. We're going to go and we're going to meet Laboon and Crocus, and then, of course, we're going to meet Vivi. And then we're going to go to Whiskey Peak, and as I mentioned, the entire crew is going to, like, party with them and drink, and then they're all going to get fallen asleep, which of course was getting drugged by the bounty hunters. Zoro's going to wake up, fight them. Eventually, they're going to get escape. They're going to go to Little Garden where they meet Dory and Bragi. They see that they've been fighting for 100 odd years. And then eventually they're going to meet Mr. Golden Week and Mr. 3. We're going to have that scene, or I wonder if we're going to get that scene where Zoro's like stuck on like the frozen or the wax like sculpture that Mr. 3 made. And if he's going to be like, yeah, I need to cut off my legs to go fight. What if we're going to see that? Not entirely sure, but we're going to see Mr. 3, Miss Golden Week, and hopefully we see Crocodile there. That's when we see him. And then we're going to go to Drum Island, where we're going to meet Wapol. I don't remember seeing anything about Dalton either. That's another character in Drum Island that we may or may not see. We are going to see Dr. Kureha, of course, because Drum Island, the big thing is we're going to meet Chopper, and he's going to join the crew. And then we're going to defeat Wapol just for him to kind of become the actual ruler of Drum Island later on, I guess. Okay. So that'll be fun. We're going to kind of end on a fun note, meeting Chopper and then potentially seeing Ace. And then Season 3, I guess we would go into Alabasta and fight Crocodile. So it does appear that this is again going to be 8 episodes, which is kind of following the format we had from Season 1. Yeah, I think we kind of covered the big points, who we saw, who we didn't see, what we're going to expect to be kind of seeing as a storyline of events here. If you're someone that has actually not watched One Piece, you're just going to watch the live action, you're in for a treat, because if it's anything like the first season, I think it's going to be really good. And we really are starting to get into kind of like, hey, these are the core Straw Hats, and you're going to see a lot of really, really cool moments in the story. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. If you guys leave a like and a sub, it would be much appreciated. And let me know, what are you expecting from this season? Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Thanks.